So we're going to talk about angles once again, and this time our angles are in a triangle, and we're going to use a theorem that's called triangle angle sum theorem. So what a theorem is it's basically a rule that, and it's a fancy name in math for saying, hey, we've proved this rule is true, and there's proof to show it. So a theorem is just another way of basically saying a really important rule, and we've done a lot with it. So what this says is the sum. Well, what does sum mean? Sum means addition. So the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180. So that means if I take every single angle and I add it up, it's going to be 180. And it doesn't matter if it's a triangle like this, a triangle like this, a triangle like this. It doesn't matter what the triangle looks like. If I add the three angles together, I'm going to get 180. 180 seems to show up a whole bunch of places, doesn't it? It's supplementary, it's a straight angle, and now it's for a triangle. The three angles of any triangle, any triangle is 180 degrees. So we're going to keep using that. So look at example 1. We know one angle, we have two angles, we don't know this third angle. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our three angles together, 25 plus 35 plus angle T is equal to 180. Okay? So, and I wrote that little m in there because in math, you can't actually add an angle, but you can add the measure of the angle. That's just a geometry teacher coming out at me, so sorry about that. So I'm going to add these three angles together. So what I'm going to do is combine like terms, 25 and 35. That'd be 50, 60. Now we're just going to subtract 60. Now a lot of you, I know, have already gone, well, why didn't we just add those together and subtract from 180 to begin with? You can. That's not a problem. So you might have added these two together and gone over to this side and gone, I'm just going to take that 180 minus 60 and come up with 120. That would have been fine. Okay? I just want to show you the equation. So that means that measure of angle T is 120. That's supposed to just be an equal sign. Okay? Now, it comes in really handy when we're doing other things. So look at this next one, and I want you to see what I see. See this right here? What kind of angles are those? What kind of angles are those? Right, those are vertical angles. So what's going to happen is it says find all the missing angle measures. So I'm going to have to find 1, 2, and 3. So what do I know? Well, I know 90 and 58. I'm going to add those together, subtract from 180. That's going to give me angle 1. Once I have angle 1, I can get angle 2. Once I have angle 2, I can add that angle 2, and 108 together, subtract from 180, and get angle 3. Okay, that's where we're headed. So let's just do one at a time. Let's just look at one triangle. So we're going to take 90 plus 58, and I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to add 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now that's what these two angles are, so that means to get angle 1, I'm going to take 180 minus 148. So I get 32 degrees. Let me double check that. So we've just found out that angle 1, this angle right here is 32 degrees. So what is this angle right here? Again, that one's 32 degrees because those are vertical angles, and vertical angles are always equal in measure. So now what we realize is that we have this angle and we have this angle. We can add those two together and find angle 3, or angle D, by subtracting from 180. So 108 plus 32, that we're adding. This is a 0, by the way. So that's 140. We're going to take 180 minus 140, and you all know that's 40. So this angle right here is 40 degrees. But what we do is we're using everything that we know about angles. Isn't it cool? Okay. Let's look at another example. Find the measure of each numbered angle here. I want you to try this one all on your own. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to have you start it, and then I'll come back in. Let's see if we're going in the same direction. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 62 and 90 and add them together. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, and remember, always check my adding and subtracting. There's a good chance I'll make a mistake of it because I'm not using a calculator right now. Okay, so that's the measure of these two angles. Now I have to find this angle, and we know the three angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So we're going to take 180 minus 152 and I get 28. Is that what you got? I hope. Yep, that looks right. Good. Let's look at the next one. Oh, okay. Now here's a geometry concept that we haven't seen before. See these little marks right here? This mark here and this mark here? Those two marks mean that those two angles are the same measure. They are congruent. This mark and this mark means my angles are congruent, so they are the same measure. So that means this one is 30 also. So if I have 30 plus 30, I already have 60. So that means I'm going to take 180 minus 60, and I get that this angle is 120. Okay, so there's another little concept. There's a geometry concept you learned. Good. Okay, here we go. Number 3. So for number 3, I want you to find angle 1 and angle 2. Remember, what does this symbol mean? Hopefully you all said a right angle, and we know a right angle is 90 degrees. Okay, go. So hopefully you added the 90 plus the 30, and you got 120. Okay, that's what these two are added together. So now I have to take 180 minus 120, and I get 60. So that means that this angle right here is 60 degrees. Okay, now I just want us to look for a second. If this angle is 90, that means this angle is 90, right? And if that angle is 60, which we already did, what is this angle right here? Hopefully you all said 30. That's right. And the other way we could have done it is we could have said, hey, we take 180 minus 90, because we have a right angle, we get 90, and then we could just take 90 and subtract from 30. So there's more than one way to do it. Oh, look at number 4. This is just like our example we did up before. So we're going to go through, okay, and look at the left triangle first. We know both of those angles, so that's where we're going to start. I want you to find angle 1 right now. Go. So I took 66 plus 58, and I got 124. Then I subtracted 124 from 180, so I'm saying angle 1 is 56 degrees, if I did all my math right. Well, then what does that mean angle 2 has to be? Exactly, 56, because these are vertical angles. Yes? Okay. Now what we're going to do is we know that's 56 and that's 50, so I go 56. I'm going to do it in a different color so you know I'm on the second triangle. So I have 50 plus 56. That's 106. So these two angles together is 106. What am I going to do to find the third angle? That's right, subtract from 180. $74. So this angle is 74. Questions? Good. Let's look at the next one. So on triangle number 5, should look very familiar. Look for just a second. What does this symbol mean? This symbol right here. Exactly, that's a right angle. How many degrees are in a right angle? Yep, exactly. So we're gonna, this is a 90 degree angle, and this is a 30. So what is this gonna be? If you're not sure, hey, look at number 3 up here. Did we maybe see just something just like this? Okay, so that's gonna be 60 degrees. Now look at this triangle over here. We're trying to find angle 1. This is a 90 degree angle, that's 60. What do you think this is? 30. Okay, and this is a great example of look at these two triangles. Okay, so this triangle right here has the same angle measure as this triangle right here. They are not the same triangle by any means, but the angles are the same. And that's a whole nother lesson you'll learn sometime in geometry, but it's really fascinating. So the angles of a triangle actually do add up to be 180 no matter what. Look at number 6. I'd like you to try this one on your own. It gives you 2 angles. I want you to find that third one. Go. Hopefully you added 20 and 152 together and you got 172. Now you can probably just count on your fingers. If I want to go from 172 to 180, right, that's going to be 8. But we can also show our work. So this angle right here, angle 1 is 8 degrees. Very tiny angle. Okay, let's look at the homework. So number 1 here, you can see that number 1 is something we know very well. We've done it many times. What's this angle measure going to be equal to? Exactly. Keep going with that. Number 2, 3, number 4, number 5. You've got that. Okay, now number 7, now we start going to equations because we always need more practice on equations. So here we go. Okay, what this one is telling us is we have to remember that this symbol is a right angle, right? So how many degrees is that? Exactly, that's 90. So what we have to do now is write an equation. So and we can do this one of two ways. We can take these 3 angles, 70 plus 90 plus this angle is x plus 32 is equal to 180. Okay, I can write out that whole equation. The other way I could have done it is I could have said, hey, if this is 90, then this angle, 70 degrees, and this angle, x plus 32, also has to equal 90. So I could have done it that way also. So I could have just taken 70, I could have also written this equation as 70 plus x plus 32 is equal to 90. Okay, it's going to do the same thing because look up here. If I subtract 90, I'm going to get that same equation. Okay, so you can do it either way. I'm going to go back up here just so I can practice combining like terms. 70 plus 90 plus 32. So if you add all those, you get 192 plus x is equal to 180. Now at first what I was doing, I was going, wait a second, 3 angles have to add to 180, but all we're doing is finding x. It's almost kind of like they're tricking us. So what we do is we subtract 192 from both sides, and when I do that, I get x is equal to, hold on, I get a negative 12. So we can have that. X is equal to negative 12. It does not say the angle is, but and that's what threw me off at first because this 192 is more than 180, right? So it really threw me off that maybe I had it wrong, but no, I didn't. Okay, so x is equal to negative 12. So just to warn you, those little weird things are going to happen. Let's go down to number 10 now. And notice I'm doing your homework with you, so if I were you, I'd pay attention. Here we go. The 3 angles of a triangle add up to be 180 degrees, and this is already 90. So that means these 2 angles together have to be equal to 90. I'm fine with you going directly to that. So what I'm saying is take 55 plus 4x plus 3 equals 90. Because all 3 angles have to add up to 180. Well, if this one's 90, the other 2 have to be 90. They're complementary angles. Okay, they add up to 90. Okay, so here we go. Let's solve this one. So we're going to combine like terms, and I get 58 because, look at these right here. These are like terms. Okay, so 58 plus 4x is equal to 90. What am I going to do next? That's right, I'm going to subtract 58. So I get 4x is equal to, oh man, I wish I had a calculator. So that'd be 232. Is that what you got? Good. Now what are we going to do? We have multiplication, so we're going to divide by 4, and we get x is equal to 8. Now let's just check and make that sure. Let's plug that in. 4 times 8 plus 3, that gives me 32 plus 3, that gives me 35. Now I'm going to take 35 and 55. 55, does that give me 90? It sure does. Ta-da, we're right. Good. Okay, let's look on this next page. 11 and 12 of what we've been doing. Now, find the measure of each missing angle, not just the question mark. So we have to find any angle that's missing. So for instance, on number 13, we have to find this angle, and this angle, and this angle. We have to find all 3 of those. Okay, now, let's see, what can we find? So what we do is we look at this and we go, which angle can we find? Well, if I look at this triangle right here, I only know one angle. So I'm not going to start there. Okay, this 55, let it just hang out for a second. Look at your triangles. Look at this triangle right here. Okay, do I have enough information? Well, I know that this is 20 and this angle is 90. So yes, I can find this angle. And remember, if you're ever given a right angle, that means these 2 angles right here have to add to 90. So 20 plus this other angle, I'll call it x, is equal to 90. So I get that that angle is equal to 70. Okay? So this angle right here, I'm going to just erase. This is equal to 70. Okay? Now what they want us to do, and this is where it's kind of tricky, is we have to go to this is a straight line. This is a line, so therefore it's a straight angle. I know a straight angle is 180 degrees. So what we have to realize here is we have to take this angle plus this angle, add those together, subtract it from 180 to find this angle. Okay, so we're going to take 55 plus 70, get 125. We're going to subtract that from 180, and we get, I got 55. Is that what you got? Yep, this angle right here is 55. So what we have to do is we have to work our way through. We have to find a triangle that we know, and then we have to work our way through. So now we're going to take 55 and 30, add those two together. Okay, and we get 85. So 85 is these two angles added together. So now what do? We subtract from 180, 85. Is that 95? Is that what y'all got? I'm going to double check my work. Yep. So this angle right here is 95. That was a lot of work to get that one angle, okay? Now look at 14. 14 is nice to us. It gives us that vertical angle thing. So where are you going to start? That's right. You start with a triangle that gives you two angles. So you take 43 plus 84. We get 127. We take 180 minus 127. This angle is not 127. That's just what these two are added together. So you actually have to subtract. So I got 53. So this angle right here is 53. So what is this angle right here, people? That's right, that's 53 also. So now you have two angles, you add those together. So 180 minus 150 is equal to 30. Good. Okay, so you'll have, 15 and 16, just like what we just did. Good. I don't know if we'll go into that next page or not. No, we don't even have that next page. It's only in mine. Okay, good. So make sure you check on Schoology or check on the assignment board or check with your teacher what your assignment's going to be. Thank you.